In the high schools, private schools, and colleges of the United States today, there are approximately 4 million girls who will be going out within the next few years to make careers for themselves. Some will find their only career in marriage, but by far the most of them will be making their living, earning their way, for a greater or lesser period of time in a busy and toughly competitive world. Competition begins with a circus for every really good opening, and the girl who wins is usually the girl who knows what she wants to do and has some aptitude for it. Instead of drifting into the first job that comes along, she looks for the kind of work that fits her abilities and the career she has planned. For planning beforehand, preferably with the guidance of a good counselor, can prevent many a false start or failure. In choosing what you want to do, the first and most important thing is to understand yourself, what you are good at and what your interests are, and how you get along with others. If, for instance, you are the gregarious type, if you like to go in for things like cheerleading and promoting school projects, you'd probably be good at some job that calls for you to deal with the public and use your persuasive powers, as in selling. If you get good marks in science and are willing to prepare yourself for it, your field may be medicine or chemistry. If you like social service, organizing aid, helping others out, you might make a good nurse or social worker. If you're a good craftsman, you would do well at work like upholstering or dressmaking, or in factory jobs requiring dexterity. If you're musical, but not enough so to be a professional performer, you might try choir directing, teaching music, or working in a music store. A dazzling Hollywood career as a star of the movies is the one time or another. A career as cover girl, one of those fashion models whose faces and figures ornament the nation's magazines, is almost as highly prized. But jobs like these are out of reach of most girls, and in any case are by no means as glamorous as they look. Modeling, for instance, is hard work. Employment is extremely irregular and pay average is low. Probably not more than a tiny percentage of all models in the United States make a good living. When it comes right down to starting a career, the wise girl chooses a job, romantic or not, which fits her abilities, interests, and personality. The biggest single field in which women find employment is office work, where there is room for both skilled and unskilled help. In general, enough skill for most clerical jobs can be acquired either at high school or in some secretarial school. For many other office jobs, whatever training is essential can be acquired on the spot. Interesting and well-paid positions, like that of confidential secretary to some important person, go only to girls with exceptional ability and experience. For those who make good in them, such jobs can lead to top-flight executive positions, of which more and more are being held down by women these days. Another field which offers innumerable opportunities for girls bent on a career is retailing. Selling in department stores and specialty shops everywhere is largely done by women. To those who like meeting and talking with people, selling jobs can be both interesting and remunerative, for many stores pay commissions in addition to a regular salary. But retailing offers many other kinds of careers besides selling. There are various specialized jobs. Some big stores, for example, maintain laboratories for testing the goods they sell. Here, there are opportunities for girls with scientific interests, those who enjoy research and analysis. Some of the bigger retail stores also make a practice of taking in apprentices and putting them through a course of training and a series of jobs in order to give them a firm grounding for more responsible positions if they are capable of making the grade. One of the jobs such beginners often start in is comparison shopping. In cities where competition among the big stores is sharpest, the comparison shopper is sent out to scout rival stores in the guise of a customer to find out whether they are offering better values on similar articles of merchandise than the home store. Jobs like this may not be the kind you want to end up in, but they're good to begin in because they give you a chance to absorb rapidly a great deal of useful knowledge about merchandise and merchandising methods. And from them, you can move on to any number of other and better jobs. One of the more desirable positions in retailing is that of buyer. Buyers hold highly responsible jobs and get paid accordingly, for the success of the store may depend greatly on the degree of taste and judgment and foresight they exercise. To be a buyer takes a lot of qualifications, a thorough knowledge of merchandising and sound judgment, plus the ability to anticipate the public's changing taste. Women who are successful in the merchandising field sometimes embark upon independent ventures, as for instance Mary Lewis, whose career led her to a smart establishment of her own on Fifth Avenue. A field which has grown spectacularly in recent years is the beauty business, which in some of its aspects is almost a monopoly of women. Such skills as are necessary for working in the average beauty shop can be acquired in a short course of training. The chances of a woman who is willing to work hard being able to start her own business are even better here than in retailing. Fortunes have been made in the beauty industry by Helena Rubinstein, Elizabeth Arden, and others whose deluxe establishments are chiefly showcases for the products of their big factories. The field in which opportunities and rewards for women are probably greatest is fashion, a predominantly feminine industry. Here, as in any field where the competition is stiff, it is worth finding out what training is required for the career you want and going after it. The choice of careers in fashion is wide: buying and selling, designing, manufacturing, promotion and display, and many others. There is money to be made in all these if you've got a good business sense combined with style sense, though competition is particularly keen for the better paid jobs. For anyone who has ambitions to start out on her own, it is a risky industry, particularly in the limited field of creative fashion. Designers as successful as Valentina, couturier to many eminent women of the opera, the theater, and society, are a small and enviable band. Fashion can be a springboard to other professions too, such as journalism. Here again, competition is intense, and in any branch of journalism, a college education is usually a prerequisite. There is a big group of successful magazines written for and largely by women, which greatly attract career girls. This whole field is even more overcrowded than fashion, but anyone who can make the grade will find a choice of interesting jobs, ranging from production and editorial assistants to art editors, layout artists, copy editors, and writers. It's a tough field to break into, but once in, there is almost no limit to where you can go, as witness the careers of two of the nation's top editors, Carmel Snow of Harper's Bazaar and Edna Woolman Chase of Vogue. Public relations, publicity, and promotion are allied occupations opening up to women, thanks to the success of publicists like Eleanor Lambert and others who have made a name in this field. To make good, you need, among other things, imagination and diplomacy, a broad knowledge of current affairs, and a personality at its best when you're meeting people. To a lesser degree, these same requirements pertain to many jobs in the field of transportation. Airlines, particularly, offer opportunities for women. If you want stimulating work with a touch of adventurousness in it, you might apply for a job as a plane stewardess. For this, you need some college education, or preferably training as a nurse. If you're the kind of person who enjoys giving help to others, there are many jobs for you, like teaching, for instance, whose greatest rewards are the inward satisfaction of doing work you love, the esteem of your community, and the companionship of the young. If you like children and are in a position to take the necessary training, you will enjoy such relatively new but increasingly important work as that of child psychologist.
And what burns?
Fire.
Fire.
You mustn't go near fire.
No, you mustn't come near fire. And what cuts?
Nice.
Nice. What cries?
People.
People. And what sleeps?
Sleepyhead.
Sleepyhead. And what scratches?
Sleepyhead.
What scratches? And now what flies?
Birdie, 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 birdie.
The nation's hospitals are constantly in need of personnel of all kinds. Though there are a few positions, such as receptionist, which have no specialized requirements, most of those who are employed in hospital work have to undergo exacting preparation in advance for the jobs they hold. Nurses have to go through 3 stiff years of training and practical experience, for upon the work they do, human life constantly depends. Nursing is not easy, but it offers great opportunity to serve the public, and those who practice it take great pride and satisfaction in their profession. If your interest is more in science than in people, there are other jobs, laboratory technicians, for example. Or, if you are prepared to undertake the years of training necessary to become a doctor, you might specialize in some field like pathology. Women doctors are no longer a rarity, and many of them, such as Maranea Farnham, occupy places at the top of their profession. Today, this and practically all the other professions are wide open to women. Frida Hennick, first woman member of the Federal Communications Commission, is an example of women who have been successful as lawyers. Lisa Meitner, famed atomic scientist, is one of a much smaller number of women who have won distinction as physicists. A profession that continues to attract women in great numbers, despite all warnings and discouragements, is acting.
What a beautiful face.
Hold it. Now, Miss Garland, although it's a lovely little baby and it's to be the future Queen Elizabeth, still, what the king wanted more than anything else in the world was a son. And so it's a tragedy to these people. So the line should carry an undercurrent of deep tragedy.
I see.
Not one girl in 100 who tries the stage ever makes a really successful career of it. Like acting, a career as a concert or operatic artist is only for the girl who is willing to gamble everything on the outside chance that all her hard work and talent will pay off. The number of women who have made a name and a living for themselves by their art, such as Maura Limpany, noted British pianist, is necessarily small. Despite all difficulties, when some person of great talent comes along, like Marian Anderson, the rewards of success may be enormous. From the rarely talented to the most ordinary, every girl in choosing a career can find within herself abilities that might fit her for a number of occupations. Her chances of success are likely to be greatly increased if, with the proper guidance, she concentrates on the career for which she is best suited and in which she can get the training necessary to take advantage of every opportunity.